Okay. So thanks everyone for joining today. This is really like an information session, just for your opportunity to like clarify any doubts about the practical skills modules. I think previously we have had a couple of information sessions for like key developments that would happen in the CFA program. I think most notably we had it when post COVID, with the shift from the paper-based testing to computer-based testing. So now this practical skills modules, along with the other enhancements that the CFA program they have been making to the CFA program, I think is a key development, and I think you need to I think we just want to make sure that you are fully aware of like all the implications of this, so that there's no uncertainties, and and also to like give you some insight in terms of what are the choices that you can make with this. Okay. So this is just the housekeeping rules. So want to this is really your opportunity to like clarify any doubts, ask any questions. So feel free to unmute and ask any questions, or just send in your questions via the chat. So the key things I want to go over is to sort of like to present you with all the latest information that we have on the practical skills modules. So this is based on all the information that the CFA program has been putting out. So periodically they have been putting updates on their website, as well as they have done like I think about 3 webinars now on this, and they have been like adding further details about the practical skills modules as we get closer to the rollout date for this. I'll be presenting whatever the latest available information we have found that the CFA Institute has provided, as well as some clarifications that we have got from our context about some of the frequently asked questions about this. So we'll be covering that. And also just giving some guidance in terms of maybe choosing the right practical skills modules, because now previously with the CFA program, you didn't really have a choice in terms of the content that you're doing. Level 1, there's a set of content that you do, then level 2, level 3. But now with the practical skills modules, there is a bit more optionality. And I think it's something that I think you need to consider seriously, because it's something that I think the direction that CFA is also moving towards is, bringing in a bit more specialization into the program. So just giving some guidance in terms of which practical PSM to choose when to take it. And as well as a couple of related developments that are happening in the CFA program, which are somewhat related to this as well, and in line with this, the new direction that the CFA program is going in. So broadly, that's what we want to cover today. So just to start off, to make it clear to everyone, what exactly is this practical skills modules? So this is something that is that is going to get rolled out from the February 2024 exams onwards. So as the name implies, these are some new modules that the CFA program is introducing, where it gives you like a real life sort of hands-on experience with with the content that you're learning in the CFA curriculum. So this is kind of like your opportunity to like apply some of those learnings, which is going to be very applicable in terms of like a work context. So they made it in a very sort of interactive, very sort of practical way. And to sort of like, it's really meant to like supplement and enhance what you're learning through the CFA, through the main CFA curriculum. So this is the schedule in which they are scheduled to roll out. So for this year, we will be seeing this being introduced to the level 1 and the level 2 programs. And then from next year, we will have this for level 3 as well. So by next year, all 3 programs will feature these practical skills modules. And the way they have been structured is that at every level of the program, you need to have completed at least one of these practical skills modules. And very importantly, you need to have done this in order to receive the exam result. Okay. Later, I'll be going through some of the FAQs on this, but this is very important to know at the onset, is that completing this practical skills module is mandatory for you to get the exam result. So not doing the practical skills modules is effectively equivalent to, not passing the exam. And, if you fail to do that on time, you would effectively have to repeat the exam. So, so this is very important that you, pay attention to this and, give the due notice and when completing this program. Okay. So in terms of the format of the PSM, so I'll show, like, I'll do a small demo to show you what the environment looks like as well. But broadly, this is how all of the practical skills modules have been structured. So it's basically a series of video lectures that will be presented with, and a series of MCQs that you need to answer. Okay. So it's basically you have to go through this material, and altogether it is structured to take around 10 to 15 hours to complete. So it's a self-paced one, just like the CFA program. So there's no fixed time when you need to do this. You need to you can start on it as soon as you register for the program. You will have access to the practical skills module, so you can start on it anytime. You can do it at your own pace, but you have to have completed it before the exam results come out. So one thing to note about this is, like, all of this content that they have created is they have done it in partnership with, like, the CFA partner, and most of them, these are content is being delivered by CFA charter holders, and a lot of it is very I mean, the program they have put together, from the information I have seen, is it's a very comprehensive program they have put together. As you have seen with the as you would see with the CFA syllabus as well, the CFA syllabus is very comprehensive, very up to date. And, if you take a look at, like, the authors of those different chapters, it's all, very, like, recognized and very people who are at the forefront of the industry. So the same goes with these practical skills modules as well. So these are being done by industry professionals who are specializing in this area. So I would say the program they have put together is very good. And I think I checked out some of the material. It's done in a very, like, interactive and engaging way. So I would say this is a good supplement to that. Yeah. So these are the modules you have to choose from. So for level 1, these are the two options that you have. So really it comes down to everything. It comes down to the two paths that you're going. Are you going to go down the model building route, which is the financial skills modeling and the more analyst route, or are you going down the more data science heavy route, which is the Python programming route? So broadly, those are the two sort of paths that are available to you. So in level 1, these are the two options that you have. And in level 2, you have the analyst skills or the Python, data science, and AI. One thing to note is in level 2, you can also take the if you have, so for example, so as you said, you need to take at least one of these practical skills modules each year. So so you have to choose between one of these, and of course you're free to choose whatever you want. So for example, if you choose financial skills modeling in level 1, I mean, there's no restriction on you doing for level 2 Python, data science, and AI, that module. There is no prerequisites that are required for each of these programs. Okay, so you're free to choose whichever ones you want. Okay. So this is just the overall description of what you would cover. So you can see with the financial skills modeling, basically it's supplementing everything that you're learning in that financial reporting and analytics topic, and as well as the equity valuations, where you're learning how to do those, the three-statement financial modeling. You learn how to, prepare those financial models, how to prepare it in a way that it's ready for analysis, how to do those valuations. So that is there. Then with the analyst skills, you have a lot of it's some very practical advice in terms of giving you, like, a practical framework for how do you actually, like, do the stock picking, how to communicate that effectively to your clients. That's what we have there. Okay. So yeah, so same goes with the Python programming as well. So there is some, I think it's done in a very practical way as well, and there is some certain modules and all, Python notebooks and all that you'll be using, which will give you a practical feel for how would you be applying these. Okay. So this is a bit more details on what is contained in each of these programs. So after the webinar, you can of course go through these in detail. We'll be sharing this slide deck with you as well. So these are the ones. So that the content you will be covering in each of them. And yeah, there's a bit more details in terms of what is contained in each of them. So as you can see, a majority of it is going to be in this form of like videos that you need to go through. So altogether, you can see it's roughly around 5 hours of videos that you have, as well as 5 hours of what they call practice videos. So this is where they're going through like an assignment or like a particular, like for example, in the financial modeling, there will be a sample financial model that you need to build. So there are ones that are sort of like more like the lecture material. They're teaching you the different techniques, and there will be some videos which is more on the assignment, where where they're showing you practically how you go about doing that. Okay, so that's what you have for video content. Plus, there are these MCQs that you need to do. As well as there are some other assets that they provide. So, for example, with the financial modeling, there would be like Excel models that you can download, which show you, which you can use to sort of like demonstrate your financial modeling skills. So that's how this is structured. So then next, what I want to highlight is some of the resources that are provided in this practical skills module. So it will, I believe, be similar to the way you have access to material on the learning ecosystem. So there will be like a sort of like on a platform, all of this material will be there. So so from the material I have seen, so we don't have, as chart holders, we don't currently, they haven't given us direct access to like all of these practical skills modules. However, they have allowed us, we have access to one of the modules, which is the analyst skills one, which is there for level 2. So I just want to like run you through, show you what the interface looks like. So probably when you're taking the practical skills module, it's probably going to look very similar to this. So I think this will give you a feel for what it will look like. So I hope everyone can see the screen. So yeah, so this is what the interface is kind of going to look like. So you're going to have this series of lessons that you need to go through. And over here, you can see there's a couple of different lessons that you have to go through. And you can see there's a series of the way each of them are structured is there's usually there's some introduction tech to each section, and then it's going to be a series of videos that you need to go through. So for instance, if I click on one of these, so this is forecasting depreciation. There is a video lecture that you have to follow through on it. Okay, so you can watch the video as well as you can also, I will download the transcript of it. So it's similar to that learning ecosystem. You need to go through the material and then, complete the task, So, and, there are also some features where you can like highlight, take notes, etc., which will then get featured or which will get compiled over here. So any notes, any bookmarking that you do will be captured there. And then at the end of each of these, there will be a certain, there's going to be some MCQs that you would need to go through. Back to the main page. For example, over here. So at the end of it, you have some, so you can see as you're completing through the text, it will automatically monitor what your progress is on each of these and how much, and it gives you some guidance in terms of how much time you need to spend on each of this. So at the end of each module, there's a certain knowledge check that you have to go through. Okay. And so yeah, so this I have already completed it, but let's say if I go to review these questions, yeah, maybe I'll go to a new one to show you what it looks like. So at the end of each chapter, there is this knowledge check that you have to go through. And yeah, so there's a series of, so you can see there's like a timer that appears and there's a certain amount of questions that you need to go through. So you need to make sure. In progress. So you need to so it's similar to like answering the MCQs in the CFA program. You need to pick what you think is the right answer, and then proceed with this. Okay. And then at the end of it, they will basically give you how your performance was. Okay. So you basically need to complete going through all this material, and it tell you, how many of it you correct, you were successful in, etc. Okay. So yeah, so roughly that is what the interface is going to look like. Okay. So yeah, so essentially it's presented in this very interactive way. And yeah, you basically have to go through all of this content. And yeah, I think one more thing to also highlight is in terms of to complete this criteria, this is what you need to do. So essentially, you just need to go through all of the material and mark it as completed. Once you have watched all the videos, once you have done all the knowledge checks, that's so over here they've said these are the amount of knowledge points that are allocated. So for each lesson, there's a certain amount of points that you get based on the amount of time that you have to spend on it. So to complete it, you basically need to go through all of that material. So that's basically what you need to do to complete this. Yeah. Any questions so far on this? Yeah, please feel free to like unmute and ask anything regarding what I have discussed so far. So yeah, so these are so here I just listed out some of the other resources that they provide. So usually there's also a slide deck that they go through. You can download that. There is some practical workbook. So in the case of the financial modeling one, there's an Excel you would download. So I think similar for Python, there would be those notebooks that you can download. Then there are all these like study resources as well, these quick reference cards, etc., which makes it very interactive and practical. So yeah, so this is the environment I was showing. So yeah, you can track your like milestones to see like how you're progressing on it. You have video lectures, so this is sort of what you would see, what it would look like. So majority of the content is going to be like these video lectures more than material that you need to read through. And yeah, you have the lecture slides, and this is the example of the for the financial modeling module. You will get like this Excel worksheet that you can run through. And also these are some of the additional support they're giving through these quick reference cards, etc. Okay. So that's really what you can expect in terms of this content for what the resources they'll be providing you for the practical skills modules. Yeah, if there's no other questions on that, I think we'll move to, I think what is the most important part is to know about the key things about this practical skills model. So I think the most frequent question people get asked is that, whether are these PSMs assessed? And the answer is no, it's not going to be graded. It's not going to appear on the exam. It's not going to affect your, in terms of the score that you're getting in terms of the CFA program. However, having said that, though, it is required for you to complete this. You need to complete at least one PSM in order to receive that exam result. So that's very important to note. Don't in the rush to do the CFA program, probably you'll be like fully focused on the main syllabus and doing those practice questions, etc. Don't let this fall by the wayside, because if you do not complete this, you would need to effectively do the exam again. So just make sure that this is completed. Okay. So given that, the important thing is when you can take the PSM. So you can take it anytime after you register. After you register, you can you can start on this practical skills module, and you have to complete it before the results are released. I'm not sure if there is a specific cutoff date as such that they give. There probably will be. But the general guidance they have said is that before the results are released, you need to have done these practical skills modules in order to have received it. So if you miss the deadline, you will not get the exam result. And then effectively, it means you have to register again for the exam, because you can't do this separately if you have missed the deadline to complete the PSM. Okay, so that's very important. You need to complete this. So another important one is on what happens if you, so as I said, you need to do at least one PSM per level. But let's say you have completed the PSM, but say you did not get through the main CFA exam, you know. So the good thing is that if you have already done the practical skills module for that level, then you don't need to repeat this again. You know, for example, let's say you did not say for level 2, you did the practical skills module on the analyst skills, but say for whatever reason you were not successful in getting through level 2. So then next time when you're registering for level 2, you don't need to do another practical skills module again. No, you just need to get through level 2, the exam, the main exam. Only once you come to the next level, level 3, would you need to do another practical skill module. Okay, so that's an important thing to note on that. Okay. The other thing is that, I mean, there's no risk. So when you register for the exam, you will have access to all of these practical skills modules that are available for your respective level. So there is no restriction on you doing more than that. If you're interested in both financial modeling and Python, please feel free to go ahead and do this. And I would say, like, if you're interested in the content and it's very good content, definitely you should go ahead with it. Similarly, let's say you start on one practical skills module, but maybe you lose interest, or maybe you feel this is not right for you. You can switch to another one. There's no problem with that. As long as you have completed one PSM, then you're fine. Okay. Then another important one is in terms of the CFA curriculum and the material. So naturally, it is some of the content that is going over in the practical skills modules. You would require some prerequisite knowledge from what you're learning in the CFA curriculum. For instance, in the financial modeling one, you definitely would need to have done the financial reporting and analysis section of the curriculum to fully appreciate and to understand that material. So there is some material that you need to do as a prerequisite, but having said that, they don't impose any restriction in terms of when you can take the practical skills module. So even if you're ready to take it right at the start, you can go ahead and do that. Okay. So yeah, I just want to pause there and check if there's any other clarifications anyone has. So I would say this is the most important thing that everyone needs to be clear on. Anything that you want to clarify on? Yeah, so please feel free, like if you have any questions, please do respond in the chat. If you have anything to clarify. So yeah, so I think the key takeaway is that make sure that you do at least one of these practical skills modules and at each level. And that is the key thing. Yeah, because if you don't, yeah, essentially it would involve, you repeating the exam. So then, yeah, if there's no further questions, then we'll move to the next section, which is now, okay, how do you choose the right PSM? Oh, I think there's one question. Let me check that. Yeah, Mohammed Hussein. Yes, so for level 3, it will be rolled out in 2025. So if you're taking the level 3 exam this year, it would not be you do not have to do a practical skills modules, but it will be rolled out from next year. So probably starting from the February 2025 exam, they will be introducing this. So you will have to take it at that point. Okay. Okay. Yeah, thanks. So yeah, so next topic is in terms of how do you decide which practical skills module to take? Okay, so I would say these are the three things. Now, I'm of course this is just based on my sort of like understanding, because I haven't because when I was doing the program, we did not have these practical skills modules, and I've not gone through, like, I don't have access to like all of this material. But based on my understanding and looking at the information they have provided in terms of the syllabus for each of these practical skills modules, I would say these are three things to consider when taking this. So the first thing is in terms of your career role. So broadly, there are two paths that you're taking. One is the sort of the analyst path, where you can look to do the financial modeling, the analyst skills one, or the more data science role, where you can take the Python and the data science AI topics. So I would say broadly in terms of the finance, so in terms of the financial module, which you can take in level 1, I would say this is very ideal. Like if you're going to go for an analyst role, if you're being an investment analyst, if you're doing any sell side, buy side role, this is basically it's giving you the practical skills that you need for the to to really grasp that material and be able to practically apply it. So in the syllabus you learn how to do the various valuation techniques, how the financial modeling, the forecasting, the techniques that you'll be using, then about the accounting rules. But this is where you would be practically sort of like applying that. So that's so if you're looking to go down that route, I would say that is very useful. And then the level 2 material. So this is the material I did have access to. What I would say is that it is very I just had a look at like some of the material. It's very sort of like practical sort of advice that they are giving. If you're working as, say, a stockbroker or as an investment advisor, how do you kind of make these investment calls? It's giving you some very good like frameworks on like how to go about that. Really practically showing how you can apply the theory that you have learned for those kind of situations, as well as giving some very practical advice, like how to deal with like client emails, how to like manage your work. It's some very interesting content that they have there. So again, if you're looking to go down the equity, like the research analyst path, I would say this is the best combination to go with. So level 1, take the financial modeling. Level 2, go with the analyst skills module. Then in terms of Python, yeah, so if you're more interested, if you're looking for something more quantitative, more on the data analytics side, I would say this is the main thing to focus on. And I think this is also an area that CFA Institute is also looking to develop. So they have their own data science certification. And even in the CFA Sota Sri Lanka, we have in partnership with our knowledge partners, you have access to some of the Python related training. So if you're looking to deepen your understanding in go down the data science route, then this would be the option to go with. So you can take the Python fundamentals in level 1, and level 2 you can take the data science AI Python specialization. Yeah. So just to summarize, this is sort of what I would recommend in terms of, depending on the type of career role that you're looking at, you can maybe these are the ones you can choose from. Okay. Of course, as I said, there's no restriction on you doing more than one practical skills module at each level. But if you had to choose, maybe this is what you can use as a guideline. Okay. Yeah. Then the second point I'd like to highlight is in terms of the familiarity. So the first thing is, your career choice. Second thing is how comfortable you are with the material, because as the guide said, it takes 10 to 15 hours to go through this material, and probably the more familiar you're with the material, if you're like pressed for time, the more familiar you're with the material, the quicker you will be able to get through this. So in terms of in terms of each of these PSMs, this is the prerequisite knowledge that you have based on the syllabus of the content. So with level 1, the financial skills modeling, naturally, the financial statement and analysis module is the one that is most applicable to that. That part of the CFA curriculum is what you need to have gone through to do this. Then Python program is the quantitative methods, analyst skills, the equity investments. Python programming, again, it's on this. So one thing to note is that if you're doing in level 2, if you're choosing the Python program module, they are effectively assuming that you have done the Python programming fundamentals in level 1. So even if you have not done it, you can still take this module, but effectively they assume you would have, I believe, what they provide is that you have still access to the material that is covered in the Python programming fundamentals, because I believe that is some prerequisite knowledge that you need to do the Python data science and AI PSM in level 2. Okay, so that's why as part of this content, it includes an overview of the content that is covered in the Python programming fundamentals. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind if you're going down the Python route. It would be unless you're already very familiar with that topic and you don't need a lot of prerequisite knowledge, just be mindful of that. Okay. So yeah, so that is what we have there. Then, then the other general advice I would say is in terms of when to take this, in terms of the timing. Now, of course, the thing is that, this is not going to be assessed. And as I said, it's not going to count towards your final grade. So because of that, I would say that few things. One is that, so in terms of when, so the latest in which you can take the exam is before, so you can take this after you have sat for the CFA the exam, but before you have received the you receive your exam results. So I mean, I would say, like, maybe for most people, maybe what is most optimum would be, given that you're anyway pressed for time to do the CFA program. Anyway, we say that you need 300 hours to prepare for the program. Then on top of that, you now have these 10 to 15 hours of practical skills modules that you need to go through as well. So one thing is that I would sort of maybe recommend is that, as soon as you complete the CFA program, you have done the exam, maybe take the next 2, 3 days and complete this practical skills modules. It's 10 to 15 hours. You can, like, if you spend the whole day, in 2 to 3 days, you can probably, if you take the full, spend the full days on it, you probably can go through this material in a leisurely manner. So I would say, like, treat this as, as part of that exam process, So, you've done the main exam. So yeah, so that's all, that's off your plate. And then just kind of imagine you're still in that exam mode and just go through this material. So, and importantly, don't wait till the last minute to do this, because I think usually there's about a 2 to 3 weeks buffer until the exam results are released. But yeah, don't wait till the last minute to do that. Really treat this as a component of that exam. Of course, I would also say that, so that's one. I would say for most, I think that might be the optimal option, particularly since you're already pressed for time with doing the CFA program. But the other thing is that this is also something that is directly related to what you're studying in the curriculum. So, I mean, another way I would also say is that definitely you should attempt this only after you have mastered the theoretical content. So after you have done the FSA subject, maybe then you can, if you feel it's going to be helpful um, for you to do to practically see how you're going to use that knowledge. If that helps you, if you feel that's going to help you with remembering the content and things like that, by doing this in this very practical way, then by all means I would say you go for it. So that's another, I would say, option you can go with. Maybe complete it while you're preparing for the CFA program in the run up to the exam. So I would say broadly those are the two things to consider in terms of the timing. If you feel this is going to help you enhance your exam preparation for the CFA program, then do it alongside, devote that 10 hours to this as part of your main preparation for the CFA exam. Or if you feel that, better for you to, like, fully focus on the CF, the curriculum, the main curriculum that's going to be tested, fully focus on that. And then, as soon as you're done with the exam, take those extra days and do this, treat this as like a extension of that exam date. So, so that's the general advice I would give on this. Yeah. Any questions, any thoughts on that? Any from what I've said? Yeah. Yeah, while you come over, let me just check if there's any other questions. Okay. Yes. Hi, Kamal. Yeah, so Kamal's question is there was an MCQ assessment section related to the PSM. Is there a cutoff score you need to get on that to get through the PSM? Kamal, from what I understand, I don't think there is because it's not going to be assessed. So from what I understand is that once you complete each question, each section. So for example, if I go back to this one. So yeah, so over here they said 80% correct. So you can, I think once you have completed it, I believe you can then review all of the questions and how you did, etc. Okay. And it will tell you what the correct answer is as well. I don't believe you need to like repeat it as such. But I'm not sure whether, say, maybe if it's like way below, maybe you have to like repeat it. But of course it's they give the solution, everything. But yeah, from what my understanding is, I don't think there is like a cutoff mark as such that you need to achieve. It's just that you need to get through all of the material. Yeah. But yeah, but that's something we can clarify on. That's a double check on it. But as far as I know, since this is not going to be assessed, I don't believe there is a passing score as such. Like even here, I don't think there's no indication of like you have passed or anything. They just give you what's the percentage that you were correct, etc. Yeah. Yeah, another question from Hussein. Will I have access to the modules from level 1 and 2? If I'm a level 3 guy, since these results are still relevant to us. Yeah, Hussein. Oh, that's an interesting question. So I believe from what I understand, these are the each module is specific for the particular levels. But this is something we can check with our with with the CFA Institute, if as to how whether you would get access to these as well. Because likely it would make sense because particularly if you haven't done the first, say you're doing say if you're doing level 3 in 2025, that's the first time you're going to do this practical skills module. And if it's building on the previous knowledge, then probably it would make sense for you to have access to those past ones as well. But yeah, that's a good question, Hussein. We can can try to get a clarification on that from our partners. Yeah. Sahid has question. I'm a level 1 student in the data science route. Can you provide more insight into jobs related to data science and finance? Not come across anything of the sort, but seems promising. Yes, Ed. So actually, in this presentation, there is a dedicated page on the CFA website for data scientist roles. So in this presentation, you can go to that link. And yeah, these are some of the job roles they have listed. So you can have a look at that for like further information about the kind of roles that you can look for on that. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, anyone has any other questions on this? Yeah, if there's nothing else on that, then let me just move to the next one. Is just to highlight a couple of other recent CFA program developments that have happened, which are also like related to the practical skills modules. And I think it highlights sort of like the direction that the CFA program is also going in. Okay. These are a couple of ones I want to highlight. So the first one is the additional practice question. So CFA Institute has also been, I think they want to like build up the online, the ecosystem, learning ecosystem that they have. So now they've introduced the practical skills modules. So another thing that they want to provide with more is this optional practice modules that they are making it accessible. So this is not it's not a free resource that they're providing. It's I think it's another $299. And currently this will be available from the February 2024 exam onwards for level 1 students is what they're providing. So there's some additional 6 mocks that they're providing and another 1,000 practice questions. So this is another option for you to consider, if you're not using any other, provider material, if you need some extra preparation. This is these are resources that the CFA Institute themselves is providing. So probably you can be assured that in terms of the quality of the material and the sort of like the way the questions are presented is probably going to be very much in line with the CFA, the syllabus, and the testing methodology and all. So this is something to consider, and I believe that the CFA Institute is also looking to like roll this out in the future for level 2 and level 3 as well. But for the moment, it's only for level 1 that they have this. Another thing that they're going for is in terms of having more focused curriculum. Now, as I said, with this practical skills modules, with the introduction of that, on the one hand, what this also means is that you need to spend more time in terms of the time because there's another 10 to 15 hours they're saying minimum that you need to allocate for this. So one thing that they're looking to do is, given the amount of time that you're spending on this plus the curriculum, one thing that they're looking to do is to move some of the syllabus into what they call prerequisite material. So some of the material they're going to move out of the core study material. So for level 1, that's about, it's going to be about a 12% reduction in the content. So what they're saying is that some of these material, they consider those as prerequisite material. So that will be given separately. So that is if you're already familiar with the material, then they're going to like present it separately, as not part of the main syllabus. But from what I understand, these are prerequisites. So that means that I believe that means that it's still going to be testable, but just that I think the way they are presenting it, they're keeping it in separately so that because they assume you already have the background information on this. So for example, if you have already done an undergraduate program or even in like say economics, probably a lot of the material that is covered in the level 1 economics module is already going to be very familiar for you. So maybe that's material you probably don't need to go over in detail. So they're just identifying what are the topics that they consider as prerequisite. Or if you're coming from like an accounting background, probably that financial statement analysis is already very familiar to you. You don't need to spend too much time on that. Yeah. Then the other thing to also highlight is in terms of the specialized pathways. So again, given the release of these practical skills modules, I think the path that CFA Institute is going down is more introducing more specializations, because up to this point, the CFA program is kind of like, you get a broad sense of broad coverage of the financial industry, and it's a more generalist program that you have. But they want to introduce more specialization. And one way they're doing that is through these PSMs. The other thing that will be there is for level 3, again, starting from 2025. So alongside these practical skills modules, they're going to introduce the specialization. So I'm not clear at the moment whether these two are going to be combined or two separate things. That is having practical skills modules and on top of that, these specializations. But I believe they are separate because these specializations are going to be testable in the syllabus. So around 30% of the study material is now going to come from the specialization that you need to choose from, which is this private wealth of. So at the start, when they roll it out, it will be just private wealth and private markets. But they're hoping to like introduce it to roll it out to more. There'll be more content as well that they'll be looking to roll out over time. Okay. So importantly, you need to choose this at the start itself. So you have to choose this. And I believe it's probably going to be less flexible than the practical skills module since it's going to be assessed. But they haven't probably once they provide more information on this, we can let you know about that. But just something to note, keep in mind on this, that with level 3 explicitly, they're going into more specialization. So probably maybe for level 2, level 1 as well, maybe over time, they might be looking to introduce more specialization at those levels as well. Okay. The other, I would say another related thing to also note is this digital badging. So one thing that the CFA Institute is now moving towards is sort of like providing more individual recognition for those different levels that you achieve. So right now, you have the digital badging system where, on your social media like LinkedIn and all, you can share that you have completed like level 1 or level 2. So they're going to make that a bit more sort of like distinct and to sort of give more weight to that, because they kind of like acknowledge like, even say, you have done the level 1 program. Of course, the ideal scenario is, of course, to complete the CFA program. But let's say there is, there's a change in like your job roles, or maybe your focus, and maybe you no longer want to, maybe you have completed level 1, completed level 2, maybe you don't want to like continue with it. There will still be some recognition attached to, for the CFA Institute is acknowledging that, you have put in a substantial amount of effort to, it's just a substantial achievement to have got through, that level 1, level 2. So they want to like recognize that more explicitly. So they are rolling out this digital badging, and I believe potentially something similar will be done for the practical skills modules as well. So probably, once you have, say you have completed a particular practical skills module, say the financial modeling, probably they might roll out a digital badging system for that as well, just to highlight that you have this practical experience with these modules as well. So that's something to look out for. And because of that, I would also encourage that, don't, because the practical skills module it's not going to be assessed, don't just like, just do it for the sake of it. Because I feel like the material there is very helpful, and it's really going to help you in your career. And it's really going to give you a leg up over others. So be mindful in terms of what you choose, and ideal situation is just go through all the material, be familiar with everything. But if not, be mindful that you absorb that material properly, and go through it. Yeah. So yeah, and finally, so these are the key takeaways then for today is, make sure that you have completed. So this is mandatory. You need to have completed at least 1 PSM per level. If you have done it for 1 level, but maybe you did not get through the main exam, you don't need to repeat it for when you're retaking the exam, but you just make sure that you do at least 1. No restriction on you doing more than 1. And yeah, when deciding to choose, decide on what kind of role that you're looking in terms of like your job prospects, what kind of role you see yourself in the future. So take that, as well as your familiarity on the material. Take those into account when deciding which module to go with. And in terms of the timing, as I said, 2 options. One is that if you want to fully focus on getting through the CFA program, and you don't want this as like an additional burden, then I would say, just fully focus on the CFA program, get through, do the exam on that exam date, and then, take the next couple of days to complete the PSM. Just treat this as an extension of, imagine you're still in that exam mode, and just do that as soon as you have completed that. Or alternatively, if you feel this is going to help you with your exam preparation, then do this alongside those. If it's going to enrich your understanding of those of the theoretical sections that are going to be tested, then please do this parallel to your studies. And so would be interesting to hear like uh, once y'all have done this as well, like what your experience has been on that. And yeah, very importantly, make sure that you complete this in a timely manner, that you don't miss out on this. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? Anything to clarify on that? If not, based on what we have just done, I would like to just do like a quick poll, just to see, based on what I have said, what program are you sort of like leaning towards in terms of which practical skill module you would like to take up? So let me just launch that poll. So yeah, based on what I presented, could you just mark which one you feel like you are most likely to take in terms of the practical skills module? Okay, yeah, I think that's it. Let me share the results. So yeah, so I think most are leaning towards the financial modeling side, as well as good number finally skill. But yeah, there's a decent amount for the Python programming as well. So yeah, so I see good interest in both. So So hope this was helpful. And yeah, this is also the schedule to like keep in mind in terms of the timing of when they're going to roll this out, some of the key developments on this. So these are all the different enhancements that they're doing. So you can see February 2024, level 1, the practical skills modules is rolled out. And yeah, across all level 1 exams that will be happening this year, the PSM is going to be featured. Then level 2, it's starting from May 2024. You will have the PSM for the 3 exams for 2024 and then continue 2025. And level 3, yeah, as I said, in February 2025, they are rolling out both the practical skills modules as well as the specialized pathways. So that's important thing to keep in mind in terms of the timing. Um, and yeah, and also you would have Sandhika, would you be able to share the poll, sorry, the feedback form on this? So please fill that
Yeah.
out, and you can yeah, you can then let us know like whether this information session was useful, any other questions you have, you want us to clarify, we can with the CFA Institute. And you can also fill out that form so that you can get access to give us your feedback and get access to the presentation of this. Yeah, anyone has any other questions? Anything they want to clarify on this topic? One more thing I would also like to highlight is uh, on our candidate, if you go to the CFA Society Sri Lanka website, to the candidate council page, a recent thing we have updated is the CFA program quick start guide. So on this, you can find all of this is basically like a one-stop shop, which like has all the information about the CFA program, the latest available information that we have compiled into this handy booklet. So please go to the website and download that copy, including some of the key details on the practical skills modules, about the scholarships, about all the benefits that the CFA, the candidate council is providing. So please go to the website and download this copy. Let me share that link here as well. And yeah, I think some of the guys also shared the feedback form. So yeah, please fill that out, and so then you can access the material as well. Anyone has any final questions before we close out the meeting? Yeah, so if there's nothing else, so thanks everyone for joining. And as I said, please fill out the feedback form and to access the presentation material. And yeah, hope you found this useful. Okay, thank you.